Ciao and welcome to What's Cooking Ari in week 34 of the Sweetest Kind of Death. This week is the illusion of growth without strain. By late 2011, Persiano was no longer just a hustle. It was becoming a real company. Ali had become a business partner. Sue was anchoring the warehouse, taking charge, keeping our systems neat and clean and accountable. She carried the burden of the linens, the endless loads of washing and pressing, while mentoring us kids as we stumbled into the business world. Yes, we worked late nights, 7 days a week most weeks, and every piece of equipment that we added felt like us having to feed another mouth. But whenever I think about growth, I remember the garage years. Persiano in 2007 began with a simple $1,000 investment, 10 tables and 100 chairs in my garage. I can still see myself sitting in the condo garage in Ladera Ranch, staring at that small inventory, and my wife walking in and asking, "What are you looking at?" And I responded to her, "I'm looking at our future," and wondering why. Why was I betting our future on tables and chairs? Why was I pivoting away from finance, from real estate, from insurance, from planning? The truth was I had no idea why. But here's the confession. When I pivoted away from that world of planning, I stopped planning. And that's where the logic started missing in my life. The man who once studied investments and built systems suddenly became a man building on emotion. Every move felt urgent, necessary, driven by survival. But logic was clearly absent. Every late night, every rented warehouse, every added truck, it all happened without a real system, without a real blueprint, without the structure that my past had taught me. Because I did not want to look back. I didn't want to use the tools of my past. My father's death, the market crash, the wounds of risk. I had turned away from them. And in turning away, I had left behind logic. What I built was real, but it was also harder than it needed to be. So growth without a system doesn't come free. It comes with strain. A strain on your marriage, a strain on your health, a strain on your time, a strain on every relationship that you have. And yet I kept on telling myself throughout all these years that this is what growth looks like. But the truth is simpler. Growth without planning isn't strength. It's chaos dressed up as progress. So this is the reflection or the mirror of this chapter. Here's the illusion, growth without strain. We think growth is a clean upward slope. We think growth is a celebration of wins, a highlight reel, but the real growth strains everything around it. And if it isn't supported by planning, that strain multiplies. So yes, Persiano was built, but it was built on sweat, sacrifice, and emotion, not on a system. And that strain nearly broke us more than once over the last 2 decades. So how do we look at love in this chapter and how it reframes growth? When we look at love and my definition of leadership through stewardship, growth requires more than grit. It requires stewardship of systems. When we look at love through opportunity, through creativity, creativity without planning burns out. Creativity with structure, it compounds. And when we look at love through a vision that unites, a vision without planning actually divides. Vision with planning unites all. Finally, when we look at love through empowerment, which will ultimately lead to enrichment, empowerment is starting something. Enrichment is sustaining it. And in the bank of time and trust, growth without planning is like making deposits into an account with no ledger. Money goes in, but you don't know what's left with it. So where is our practical reflection of this week? Here's our mirror for this week. Where in our life are we mistaking chaos for growth? Where are we, again, building on emotion without structure? So here is the kill move that we need to focus on this week. Step 1, Let's identify one area where we are pushing forward without a plan. Step 2, let's write down the simplest system that could anchor it, even if it's just 3 steps. Step 3, within the next 48 hours, let's test that system. And in the 4th step, let's record it as always as a deposit, because growth without planning is strain and not strength. So here is the candle of this week. Growth without planning is chaos. Growth with planning turns into legacy. Ciao, we'll see you next week.